Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Watch Our Realms video. I wanted to make this video obviously earlier, which was around the Diao Chan Lu Bu banner, because I thought that the hero information will come to us on reset, but apparently it hasn't. It looks like it will need the update that's coming in tomorrow before this banner information will all show up. Because if you see in the event section, you're not seeing anything as well. No banner information and no new hero info information where you can, go in to take a look at their skill kits normally. So what we're going to do is, I did see the skill kits posted up on Game News. So we're going to use that and talk about the heroes briefly. And we also want to talk about PD manipulation on limited banners because that's always something good to talk about, especially if we have new players coming into the game. So we already know what banners are coming. Diao Chan is coming this Friday through Tuesday, I think. And it's going to be a limited summon unit and guaranteed within 200 summons. We also have Iova and Liu Bu. This is coming on Sunday through Tuesday as well. And then last but not least, Hex and Twyla starting on Saturday. So I've always told you guys the same thing, which is don't summon until you get the Hex and Twyla banner in, so that you can actually manipulate PD, or you know what, you can also summon until you're right before PD, and then switch over to the Hex Twyla one and wait for the next day, to pop your PD. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about, and after that we'll dive into the heroes, talk about them briefly because I think a lot of content creators already posted content about Diao Chan and Liu Bu. They both look okay, so yeah, I think we'll just run through the skill kit briefly and give my take on those. So yeah, I'm going to bring up the image shortly, but before that, in case there are new players here, I just want to talk about how PD timer works in Watch Our Realms. So in case you guys are new to gacha games or just new to Watch Our Realms, they have a PD timer in place, which means that after a set amount of summons, where you don't get a legendary, you're actually guaranteed to get one. So in this case, we are looking at rare summons, because this is what Diao Chan is going to be summoned on. It's only going to be rare summons, and PD timer will basically activate after you do 180 summons, where you don't get any legendary hero, and after that every extra summon will increase your drop rate for a legendary hero by 5%, and that's gonna max out at 100% at 200 summons. So that's basically, it means that every 200 summons you're guaranteed to get a legendary hero here. And in case you guys forgot how long ago was it when you did your summons, or how long ago your legendary was, there's actually a summoning record button here. You click on details, click on summoning records, and you can see here, right here on mine, 20 plus 4 summons ago, I actually got Seraphina, which means that I'm 24 summons into PD. That's basically how you calculate it. So now that we got all the mechanics out of the way, let's bring up this image that I created. Same concept as what we did for the last limited banner where we had Wukong. So what should you do in each scenario that you're possibly in? First of all, 0 in the PD, this is the most clean cut one. You summon 180 times on the Diao Chan banner. If you don't hit a legendary, what you do next is you switch over to the Hex and Twyla banner and you summon 20 more times. That's going to guarantee you another legendary, and it can be either Hex, Twyla, or another hero altogether. And what you do after that, once you hit a legendary on a Hex and Twyla banner, is you switch back to the Diao Chan banner, and that's gonna you one more copy of a legendary, which is guaranteed to be Diao Chan within 20 summons. So all in all, 200 summons on Diao Chan banner, 220 summons on the Hex Twyla banner. Within 220 summons, you're gonna be guaranteed 2 legendaries. We don't normally get this kind of things going on, except in 1+1 banners. So I always like to mention this again in limited banners because some newer players might miss out on this, and it just makes sense for us to actually learn how to PD manipulate and know how it works. So second scenario, this one is a bit juicier. 160 in the PD, you summon 20 more times, get Hex or Twyla, and then you do 20 more, you do 79 more summons on the Diao Chan banner again, And then that's gonna bring you close to PD again. 179 summons on the Diao Chan banner. Switch to the Hex banner. You're gonna need 21 more summons to get a legendary there. And then you switch back to the Diao Chan banner and get one legendary from the Diao Chan banner. 199 summons in there, and that's gonna be guaranteed to be Diao Chan. So within 241 summons here, you're gonna get 3 legendaries. So I'm not going to repeat the same thing again for the last one. The scenario is the same, it's just that the numbers are slightly different. But obviously this one takes the most amount of summons. So do plan out your summon resource accordingly. If you don't think that you can make it for that 100 plus more summons, just do all your remaining summons on Diao Chan and make sure that you get her, because she is the limited unit after all here and what everyone will be going after. So yeah, that's basically it. Do take note that you can also pop your pity before the guaranteed legendaries. So you could get another random legendary, or you could get Diao Chan before the 200 summons that you hit on her banner. If that's the case, then whatever I'm explaining here, that doesn't matter. And also, if you pop your pity early on the Diao Chan banner and it's not Diao Chan, then you're gonna see how much more summons you need to actually do the banner switch. If it's too much summons for you, then definitely you should not, squander any more resources on the Hex Twyla banner. Instead, just go all in on the Diao Chan banner. So yeah, and if you do get Diao Chan before 200 summons, you are not going to get another one at 200 summons on her banner. You are only guaranteed to get her once. That's at 200 summons or the first Diao Chan copy that you get. So yeah, that's enough talk about the PD manipulation. I'm gonna switch off this image here, and in fact, I'm actually gonna swap it out to look at the banner and to look at the heroes. So first up, we have Diao Chan. So I'm not sure if you guys can actually see. Need to shrink this a bit more. Okay. Centralize this. There we go. So Diao Chan, Infernal Watcher Healer. She's a legendary, and you can see her talent here. Increases healing bonus by 50% when deployed. Begins dancing to Serenade of Hope. During Serenade of Hope, gains an extra 4% of healing bonus every 2 seconds, reaching the maximum at 20 seconds. So that's going to give you an extra 90% healing bonus on Serenade of Hope. And then you have Song of Sorrow, increases attack by 2% every 2 seconds, and the increase reach a maximum after 20 seconds, which is going to be 20% attack. And these effects are removed when you switch your stance. So no matter what, you're always going to get the healing bonus, it looks like, the 50% one. And then the switch modes are going to just either give you a 40% extra healing bonus or 20% extra attack. And you can see her range there at the bottom left-hand corner. It's basically a Dolores range. So now let's switch over to her skills over here. Where is it? There we go. So basic attack, Serenade of Hope periodically applies attack-based healing 3 times in range. And then Song of Sorrow grants 21% inspiration to all allies in range. So she's basically Dolores, but permanent uptime. And she's going to heal a lot more with her basic attacks when she's in Serenade of Hope. And then her first passive. Within 9 seconds after switching stances, basic attack inherits half of the effect of the previous stance. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time every 60 seconds. I don't remember if these numbers are the default levels or maxed out. It does look like it's maxed out, if I'm not wrong. And this basically means that when you switch over from, for example, from Serenade of Hope to Song of Sorrow, you're going to get half of the healing there. And if you switch from Song of Sorrow to Serenade of Hope, you're going to get half the inspiration while she continues doing the healing, which is pretty neat. And then her second passive, Serenade of Hope, continuously applies physical and magical damage reduction to her allies. And then Song of Sorrow instead will continuously apply penetration increase to 2 other allies with the highest attack in range. So I really like the Song of Sorrow bit, the penetration increase, because we don't really get that much elsewhere. It's normally inbuilt in a hero. Only Magda has that passive, but units need to be surrounding her or in her attack range. Whereas for Diao Chan, she's just going to apply it to the two allies within her range with the highest attack, which is really nice. So onto her Bond, obtain Liu Bu, the Flying General, in Hero Gallery to unlock the following bonus effects. As long as an ally is in Diao Chan's basic attack range, she's gonna reduce the AoE damage that they take by 30%. And this is what makes people say that Diao Chan is basically Percy, Magda, Dolores, as well as Sadie all in one. Because she basically does everything that the rest of them do, just that you have to mode switch a bit to get that. So her ultimate is basically a what do you call that? Ingrid mode switch kind of thing. So it just switches between her modes, between healing or offering inspiration, and basically the rage cost is the same as Ingrid. It's 100, so you can switch between it fairly quickly. But you can't abuse her first passive because that has a cooldown of 60 seconds. Unfortunately, they did not post her awakenings on the game news section, but from what I recall from War Guide's video, I saw that they actually shifted her awakenings around. I think A1 now improves her basic attack range. It's going to become an alien attack range, which is huge in terms of the versatility that she can bring with the extra bonus range. And then I think A3 is the one where I forgot what was it. I honestly forgot. I think A5 is the one that gives an extra unit with penetration. So now it's two allies. I think A5 gives one extra. But I really can't remember what her A3 is off the top of my head. But it's a limited banner, and you can see from our last Wukong summons, it did not go very well. Honestly, if I was just a normal player, I'll be happy just getting her A1. But obviously, whales are going to go to her A3 or A5 at the very least. So this is Diao Chan. She's obviously a must go. Limited summons, you always won't know when Moonton actually makes them a useful or must-have hero somewhere else. But just from the get-go here and all the testings I've watched, she looks really good in terms of the damage output. Just imagine this. Dolores permanently up with inspiration all the time. That's basically what she is. I mean, she does give a slightly lower inspiration, but bear in mind that hers is permanent, unless you decide to switch her to the healing mode. So that's done. Let's switch over to the Liu Bu banner here. Liu Bu, the flying general. So chaotic northerner, exactly the same as Ardea. And you can see his talent here. Every 12 seconds, the next basic attack consumes 50% of current HP to gain Chaos Strike. And when deployed, he immediately enters Deep Descent and gains enhancement effect of the ultimate Dark Star, but cannot use ultimate during this state. In case you guys don't think this is familiar, that is basically Valderon's A1, where he goes in, where he gets that stack of Chaos Vitality upon spawning out. And when the HP drops below 65%, Chaos Strike interval is reduced by 2 seconds. So 10-second cooldown instead. And then his range is a 3-tile range, but I do believe he has an awakening that gives him an extended range, and that's going to put him on par with Ardea in terms of range, and it's going to be same as Ares and Valk, where they get that one extra tile of range at their A1. And then now we look at his skill kit. Basic attack deals 100% AoE damage up to 5 enemies. And this is the same as what do you call that? This is going to be a physical damage dealing unit, obviously. And yeah. First passive, when not in Deep Descent, gains 0.5% rage when attacking enemies. For every 20% max HP of damage taken, gains 1% rage. And both effects double when current HP drops below 50%. So it's going to be the same as any other chaotic units. You want his HP as low as possible, but still being able to survive. And when HP is below 65%, increases damage by 20%. For each ally within 2 tiles with the HP below 65%, increases his damage by 10% up to 30% increase. So the more chaotic units around him, the more damage he does. And when the hero or allies HP drops below 65% for the first time, he gains 20% rage. And then obtain the hero Diao Chan Moon's Radiance to unlock the following bonus effect. Increases the duration of Deep Descent and Enhanced State from his ultimate star gain upon deployment by 15 seconds. So onto his ultimate now, because his passive is pretty boring. It's just a straight up damage increase. Immediately enters Deep Descent. Upon reaching maximum power, immediately enters Deep Descent and gains enhancement effect. Increases own attack by 30% and reduces the trigger interval of Chaos Strike by an extra 2 seconds. So I think one thing that's very important to note here is that his full skill kit is not actually being displayed here. So from my understanding of his ultimate, he actually gets an extra health bar. That's not mentioned anywhere here. And I think that's what makes him such an interesting unit, because he sort of gets a separate health bar during his ultimate, and yeah, it doesn't look like they mentioned this here as well. So he's not gonna be as crazy as Adair because of his basic attack being a lot lower. It's only at 5.3k, and his kit doesn't have crazy multipliers as well. So that's gonna be one of the many reasons why Liu Bu is not gonna be that crazy. But he is gonna be a very important part of Diao Chan's kit because of the bond, giving the extra 30% damage reduction. And Liu Bu himself is honestly also quite decent. There is a slow aspect in his kit. It's just not being shown here, which is annoying because I think it's buried within some parts of his tooltip, and you actually need to, see him in game before you can see what he actually does fully. And I know that on his A3, he also has a 15% execute when heroes hit the enemy's HP falls below 15%. And then A5 makes it such that he blocks fatal damage, and blocking each fatal damage basically just reduces his deep descent duration by 5 seconds for each fatal hit that he takes. So he looks good in theory, but not as good as Diao Chan in my opinion. So he's paired with an amazing Lord Eova. I really like him. He's the better Piercer Lord. He's also amazing for BP affiliation. I'm going to switch off this image here now, and you're going to see that I actually have Eova at A3 already. This is with 3 Soulstones though, so I'm not sure what will happen if we actually do pull extra copies of Eova this weekend. I mean, it would be nice if it's before payday. I don't have enough summons to reach full payday. I think I'll be like 175 summons in the payday if I use everything I have on hand now, so yeah, I'm definitely summoning on Diao Chan. I do have hopes to get my hex to A5 as well. And yeah, that's basically it. So I hope this video was helpful. It took a lot longer than expected, but I'm gonna timestamp it so that you guys can skip to the parts that you need. But I wouldn't say it's a must summon for like everyone. But I'll say Diao Chan is gonna be a nice unit to go for. She's gonna be great somewhere, like for sure. And Liu Bu, Eova, that's the more debatable one, because not everyone wants an Eova, and Liu Bu doesn't look as crazy as Adair at the moment. So that's gonna be it for the video. It took us some time to actually get through all of that. I hope it was helpful. If you did find it helpful, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. And I'm gonna see you in the next video, and good luck in all your summons. Goodbye.